From the blistering heat of the Sahara to the bone-freezing cold of Antarctica, our planet is home to some of the most unforgiving environments on Earth. Yet, against all odds, life not only exists in these extreme climates, it thrives. These are places where the elements rule with absolute power, where survival demands not just strength but ingenuity, resilience, and respect for nature's raw force. In the deserts, temperatures soar high enough to melt asphalt, and water is a treasure worth more than gold. In the Arctic, endless nights and howling winds create a frozen wilderness that tests even the toughest of explorers. Deep within the rainforests, humidity suffocates and rain falls like sheets of glass, while in the mountains, oxygen thins and each breath feels like a victory. These are lands of extremes, of blistering suns, biting frost, raging storms, and infinite beauty. But what makes these places truly remarkable are the people and creatures who call them home. From nomads who traverse shifting dunes guided only by stars, to fishermen who carve through ice to reach the sea beneath, to animals that have evolved to withstand the impossible, life here is a masterclass in adaptation. Extreme climates reveal nature's greatest paradox. In the harshest conditions, the most extraordinary forms of life emerge. They challenge our understanding of endurance and remind us of the delicate balance between survival and surrender. In this exploration, we journey to the edges of human and environmental endurance, to the deserts, tundras, mountains, and tropics, where every day is a battle and every sunrise is a triumph. These are the frontiers of our planet, where nature shows both its fury and its brilliance, and where the story of resilience continues to unfold against the odds. Nature, in its most extreme forms, is both breathtaking and terrifying, a force that humbles even the most advanced civilizations. From the searing heat of the desert to the crushing cold of the polar ice caps, these wild frontiers remind us that the Earth is not tamed. It is alive, unpredictable, and vastly more powerful than we often realize. In the heart of Africa's deserts, temperatures can soar above 50 degrees Celsius, turning the ground into a blazing furnace where life clings to existence in silence. Meanwhile, at the opposite end of the world, Antarctica's icy wastelands plunge to 80 degrees below zero, where even the air seems to freeze mid-breath. These are places where the elements reign supreme, where wind carves mountains, where sand devours cities, and where storms can shape coastlines overnight. Yet, amid this chaos, beauty thrives. Lightning storms illuminate the skies like celestial fireworks. Volcanic eruptions give birth to new islands, and glaciers sculpt valleys over millennia. Nature's extremes are not just acts of destruction, they are also acts of creation, constantly reshaping the planet and giving rise to new forms of life and land. For those who witness it, the power of nature's extremes is both humbling and enlightening. It strips away human arrogance and reminds us of our place in the grand design, a small part of a vast living system. In these moments, surrounded by roaring winds or blinding snow, we remember that Earth is not simply a home, it is a force of its own will. These extremes test every form of life, pushing evolution, adaptation, and courage to their limits. But they also reveal a deeper truth, that within nature's fury lies an awe-inspiring balance, a raw, untamed energy that sustains the beauty and wonder of our planet. The desert is a place of paradox, empty yet alive, silent yet full of hidden voices. It is the world stripped bare, where survival depends not on strength, but on wisdom. Under a relentless sun that scorches the earth by day, and a night sky glittering with endless stars, life in the desert is a daily negotiation with extremes. Here, water is more precious than gold. Every drop, Every shadow, every gust of wind carries meaning. Nomadic tribes like the Tuareg of the Sahara or the Bedouin of Arabia have mastered this unforgiving world, guided by ancient knowledge passed through generations. They read the sands like a language, knowing where to find water hidden deep beneath dunes, when to travel to escape the killing heat, and how to live in harmony with a landscape that gives nothing freely. Animals, too, have become desert sages. The camel, nature's endurance champion, can travel for days without water, storing life in its humps and patience in its stride. The fennec fox's enormous ears release heat, while plants like cacti and acacias hoard moisture in silence. Every creature is a story of adaptation, a miracle shaped by centuries of evolution and survival. But the desert is not just a test, it's a teacher. It teaches humility, reminding humans of our fragility under the vast burning sky. It teaches gratitude for shade, for water, for the miracle of each sunrise that follows a night of bitter cold. To live in the desert is to live with grace under pressure, to endure without complaint, and to find beauty where others see emptiness. It is the ultimate art of endurance, proof that life in its purest form needs very little to survive. Frozen frontiers, survival in ice and snow. At the edges of the world, where the sun hides for months and the land wears a cloak of endless white, life faces its toughest test. These frozen frontiers, stretching across the Arctic tundra, the Himalayas, and Antarctica, are places where the air bites, the wind roars, and every breath feels like a small victory. Yet somehow, against all odds, life endures. Here, temperatures plunge so low that metal shatters, oceans freeze, and even the sound of your footsteps seems muffled by the cold. But the silence is deceiving. Beneath the snow and ice, a world of extraordinary resilience thrives. Polar bears stalk the frozen seas, their thick fur and fat shields them from the deadly chill. Penguins huddle together in unbreakable unity, creating a living wall of warmth. Arctic wolves, snow leopards, and reindeer navigate blizzards that would paralyze most life, guided by instincts honed through millennia. Humans, too, have learned to dance with the cold. The Inuit of Greenland, the Sami of Scandinavia, and the Sherpas of Nepal all embody the art of survival through adaptation. They build shelters from snow, craft clothing from animal hides, and find food in places where none seems to exist. For them, winter is not an enemy, it's a way of life, a partner demanding respect and skill. The frozen world may appear desolate, but in its stillness lies a fierce beauty. The aurora borealis paints the skies in ribbons of green and violet. Glaciers glow like blue fire, and the crisp silence feels almost sacred. These icy realms remind us of nature's raw majesty and our own fragility within it. In a world of frost and silence, survival becomes more than endurance. It becomes an act of grace, courage, and awe. The wrath of the skies. The sky, beautiful, boundless, and unpredictable, has always been both a giver of life and a messenger of chaos. When calm, it brings sunlight, warmth, and rain, but when provoked, it unleashes its wrath with breathtaking fury. Across the planet, the skies can turn from tranquil blue to roaring madness in moments, reminding us that nature's most dramatic power often falls from above. Hurricanes spiral across oceans like living beasts, tearing apart coastlines with the strength of 1,000 storms. Tornadoes twist across open plains, devouring everything in their path, houses, trees, even silence itself. In the tropics, monsoons arrive with thunderous force, flooding entire regions while bringing the water that sustains millions. Meanwhile, blizzards in the far north blind the land in a whirlwind of ice, transforming familiar terrain into a white void of isolation. But even in destruction, there is awe. Lightning streaks across the heavens like the handwriting of gods, illuminating the night with fierce brilliance. Thunder rolls like ancient drums, echoing across valleys and seas. The atmosphere, ever restless, is alive, breathing, shifting, and reminding us that the planet's pulse is not steady but wild. For those who live under nature's temperamental skies, adaptation is key. Fishermen read the clouds before setting sail. Farmers watch the horizon for signs of rain or ruin. In storm-prone regions, communities build homes on stilts or carve storm shelters into the earth, learning, generation after generation, to live with the unpredictable moods of the heavens. The wrath of the skies is a force that humbles us. It tears down, but it also renews, watering dry lands, cleansing air, and balancing the planet's endless cycle of life and death. In every flash of lightning and crash of thunder, nature reminds us of both its danger and its divine beauty. High-altitude living. High above the clouds, where the air thins and every breath feels like a triumph, life takes on a different rhythm. These are the world's rooftop realms, the Himalayas, the Andes, the Ethiopian highlands, where people, animals, and traditions cling to existence in places where the sky feels almost within reach. At these dizzying heights, oxygen is scarce, temperatures swing wildly, and the sun burns with a fierce, unfiltered brilliance. Yet human resilience thrives. In the Andes, the Quechua people farm terraces carved into mountainsides centuries ago, cultivating potatoes and quinoa where few other crops dare grow. In the Himalayas, the Sherpa and Ladakhi communities have turned thin air into strength, their bodies adapted to conditions that would leave most gasping for breath. Every step, every task is harder here, but also more meaningful. Life at high altitude demands ingenuity. Homes are built from stone to withstand fierce winds. Yaks and llamas provide milk, wool, and transport. Water flows in narrow channels cut by hand from glacial melt. Even the culture is shaped by the landscape. Festivals celebrate mountain spirits, and prayers flutter from colorful flags, carried by the same winds that test survival. Yet, amidst the hardship, there is serenity. The mountains offer isolation, but also peace, a quiet so profound it feels sacred. When the first rays of dawn strike snow-capped peaks, turning them gold, it's easy to understand why so many ancient civilizations saw these heights as the homes of gods. High-altitude living is not just survival, it's harmony. It's the art of breathing in thin air and finding strength in scarcity. It's a reminder that even in the world's harshest heights, life finds a way to rise, endure, and thrive, closer to the heavens than anywhere. Beneath the glittering surface of the sea lies a world of extremes, of crushing pressure, eternal darkness, and honestly, unimaginable wonder. The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet, yet we've explored only a fraction of it. What we do know, however, is that the ocean is both a cradle of life and a realm of deadly power, a place where beauty and brutality coexist in perfect balance. At its surface, the ocean dances with light and movement. Waves shimmer under the sun, dolphins leap in playful arcs, and coral reefs bloom with colors that honestly defy imagination. But descend deeper, and the story changes. Light fades, temperatures plummet, and pressure increases to levels that would, crush steel. In the abyssal depths, strange creatures, like the ghostly anglerfish and the glowing jellyfish, drift through black waters, surviving in conditions so hostile they seem almost alien. At the ocean's extremes, nature rewrites the rules of life. Some species generate their own light through bioluminescence, creating haunting blue glows in the darkness. Others thrive near hydrothermal vents, feeding on minerals spewed from the Earth's core instead of sunlight. These are living miracles, proof that life can flourish even in the most impossible places. But the ocean's power is not confined to its depths. It shapes weather, fuels storms, and commands tides that sculpt entire coastlines. It can be calm one moment and catastrophic the next, its waves rising like mountains, its tempests swallowing ships whole. To face the ocean's extremes is to confront the raw essence of our planet, mysterious, merciless, and honestly, just magnificent. It reminds us that we are guests on a world ruled by forces far older and greater than ourselves. In every crashing wave and silent trench, the ocean whispers the same truth. Life survives because it dares. Fire and ash. Living with volcanoes. Deep beneath the Earth's crust, an ancient force stirs, molten rock, pressure, and fire waiting to be unleashed. When that force breaks free, mountains roar, skies darken, and the ground itself trembles. Volcanoes are both creators and destroyers, shaping continents, birthing islands, and reminding humanity of the raw power that still burns at the heart of our planet. For those who live in their shadows, volcanoes are more than geological giants. They are neighbors, guardians, and sometimes even gods. Across Indonesia, Italy, Japan, and the Pacific, millions of people build their lives on the fertile slopes of these fiery mountains. The soil, rich with minerals from ancient eruptions, nourishes lush crops and thriving forests. Villages perch on the edges of potential disaster, where the rewards of life meet the constant threat of ruin. When the ground rumbles and smoke begins to rise, entire communities hold their breath. Yet even in danger, there is awe. The sight of molten lava spilling down a mountainside is both terrifying and mesmerizing. A living river of fire, beautiful in its destruction. The ash that once buried towns also gives life, transforming wastelands into fertile valleys. Volcanoes shape more than land, they shape culture. Legends tell of angry spirits and sleeping gods beneath the peaks. Festivals celebrate the balance between destruction and renewal. And in every eruption, there is a reminder of Earth's heartbeat, wild, unpredictable, and alive. Living with volcanoes is an act of faith. It's a silent pact between people and the planet, a promise to respect its fury while cherishing its gifts. In fire and ash, humanity learns resilience, because in the shadow of destruction, life doesn't just survive, it grows stronger, reborn from the very flames that seek to consume it. The reign of rain, life in tropical extremes. In the world's tropical realms, rain is not just weather, it is life itself. It falls with a rhythm as old as the earth, pounding forests, mountains, and villages in a relentless symphony of sound and renewal. Here, in places like the Amazon basin, the Congo, and Southeast Asia, the air is thick with humidity and the scent of life. Everything drips, grows, and breathes under the rule of rain. When the heavens open, rivers swell into mighty brown torrents, frogs sing from hidden pools, and trees stretch ever higher toward the sun. The rain feeds a world so lush and alive that it seems to breathe on its own. Every leaf glistens, every creature moves to the pulse of the monsoon. Jaguars stalk through dripping jungles, tropical birds flash like jewels through the mist, and insects hum an endless hymn to abundance. But with the blessings come challenges. The same rain that sustains can also destroy, washing away homes, flooding valleys, and isolating entire communities. Roads vanish under mud, crops drown, and survival becomes a delicate dance with nature's moods. Yet the people of these regions have mastered that dance. From the stilt houses of Borneo to the rice terraces of the Philippines, they've learned to live with the flood, not against it. Rain shapes more than the landscape. It shapes the spirit. It teaches patience, rhythm, and respect for the cycles of nature. It is the eternal reminder that life thrives not in comfort, but in adaptation. Under the reign of rain, everything connects. Water, earth, and sky in endless conversation. And when the storm clears, leaving the world steaming and vibrant, it's easy to see why the tropics remain the beating heart of our planet. Wild, unpredictable, and eternally alive. Nature is never still. Beneath every wave, within every forest, and even in the cracks of city pavements, life is quietly evolving, adapting, surviving, and rewriting its own story. Evolution isn't a relic of the past. It's happening right now, in real time, before our eyes. It is the grandest experiment of all. Millions of species, each finding its own way to endure the tests of a changing world. In the Galapagos Islands, finches still reshape their beaks generation after generation, adapting to shifts in food and climate just as Darwin once observed. In the Arctic, polar bears grow thinner coats and change their hunting patterns as ice disappears. Even in cities, evolution is at work. Pigeons with darker feathers survive pollution better, and urban foxes become bolder, learning to navigate traffic and humans alike. Every adaptation tells a story of resilience. In the deep ocean, fish glow with bioluminescent light to attract mates or lure prey. In deserts, plants evolve to store every drop of water, while lizards change color to match shifting sands. Life bends, but does not break. It transforms. Humans, too, are part of this endless transformation. Our bodies and immune systems adapt to new diseases, our minds evolve with technology, and our societies reshape the world around us. Yet evolution is not about perfection, it's about survival, creativity, and change. Watching evolution in action is witnessing life's greatest truth. Nothing stays the same. The weak vanish, the adaptable endure, and the extraordinary emerges. From bacteria resistant to antibiotics, to birds adjusting their migration to climate shifts, evolution is proof that nature is always one step ahead, restless, inventive, and unstoppable. It's the story of life itself, an eternal masterpiece still being written, one mutation at a time. From the frozen poles to the burning deserts, from the depths of the ocean to the summits of the world's tallest peaks, nature has always been humanity's greatest teacher. Every extreme environment on Earth carries a message, a quiet wisdom whispered through wind, stone, and storm. If we listen closely, these lessons remind us not only how to survive, but how to truly live. The first lesson is humility. The natural world does not bend to our will. It reminds us that we are guests, not masters. Mountains and oceans, deserts and storms, each shows us the limits of our power and the necessity of respect. To live in balance with the planet is to understand that every action has consequence, and every resource has a cost. The second is resilience. Life endures in the harshest conditions imaginable. Plants bloom on volcanic ash, fish thrive in icy depths, and people carve homes in deserts and tundras. Their survival teaches us that strength isn't about domination, but adaptation. When we face adversity, nature shows that the secret is not to resist change, but to evolve with it. And perhaps the most profound lesson is interconnection. Every raindrop, every grain of sand, every heartbeat is part of a vast, delicate web. When one part suffers, the rest feels it too. Humanity's fate is inseparable from the health of the planet that sustains us. In a world driven by speed, consumption, and noise, nature's extremes call us back to simplicity, to patience, balance, and awe. They remind us that the greatest wisdom doesn't come from conquering the earth, but from coexisting with it. If we heed these lessons, we may yet rediscover what it means to be human, not apart from nature, but a living, breathing part of its story. From the blistering heat of deserts to the frozen silence of polar frontiers, from volcanic fire to the crushing depths of the ocean, Earth's extremes reveal more than just the power of nature. They reveal the strength of life itself. Every mountain, every storm, every wave tells the same story, that survival is an art, and adaptation is its brushstroke. In these harsh and breathtaking places, life does not simply exist, it thrives. It bends, shifts, and transforms to meet the impossible. The people who call these remote corners home have learned to live not in defiance of nature, but in harmony with it. Their courage, ingenuity, and resilience remind us that the limits of human endurance are far greater than we imagine. These extreme environments are not just distant landscapes, they are mirrors. They reflect the challenges we all face in an ever-changing world. As climate change accelerates and modern life distances us from nature's rhythm, these places stand as both warning and inspiration. They show us what balance looks like when it is earned, not assumed. The world's most extreme places teach a universal truth, that struggle and beauty often walk hand in hand. Whether it's the quiet patience of a cactus in the desert, the teamwork of penguins in Antarctica, or the faith of a villager beneath a rumbling volcano, life always finds a way. In the end, our planet's most punishing environments are also its most profound teachers. They remind us that we are part of something vast and powerful, something worth protecting. Because the story of Earth's extremes is ultimately the story of us, our resilience, our adaptability, and our eternal quest to survive, evolve, and find meaning in even the harshest corners of existence.